The next time your thoughts drift, you know, you're standing there with a client doing your thing, and you think, gosh, I haven't heard from my spouse in a while. Did they die? Stop it! You get an email or a text from your boss, you're like, what did I do? Stop it!
Stop it. Stop it.
You're going to go 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. You're going to interrupt that habit of thinking you're always in trouble, of thinking that you're disappointing people, of thinking that something's wrong. Interrupt it. It's a habit. And then when you get to 1, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, you're going to drop in what I call an anchor thought. We're going to build on the research you just learned about excitement. We're going to hijack your mind from a situation that makes you anxious or nervous. And we're going to trick your brain into thinking you're excited and something crazy is going to happen. If you're constantly worried about work, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, come up with an anchor thought. Come up with a moment where somebody was really excited by the transformation you caused. Come up with a moment where you felt proud of yourself. Come back to a moment where it's about the creativity, it's about the impact, it's about the friendship. That's your anchor thought. When I get on a plane, my anchor thought is always the same. I think about where am I going, and then I come up with something that I'm excited to do when I get there. And this is critical. If you're going to teach this to your kids, help them go through their day and come up with anchor thoughts ahead of time. I'm so proud to tell you this. 2 weeks ago, we got an email from a mom. She has a 6-year-old. A 6-year-old who was getting physically ill, vomiting before school. She was so nervous and anxious. You'd be surprised how many of these emails we get. And she was at her wit's end. She was terrified, worried. We sent her all this information about how to use an anchor thought. I'm excited, and how to coach your daughter through this. Do you realize it took 2 days? It took 2 days. She went through the day with her daughter. They came up with anchor thoughts to anchor her all day long, to coming back to being excited, to grounding herself mentally up here, to changing the patterns up here. 2 days before this kid was no longer not only getting sick, she was jumping out of the car saying, I'm so excited when she went to school. Their teachers were like, what is happening here? It's amazing, and this will work for you too. So when I get on the plane to fly back to Boston, I always think, okay, I'm so excited to walk in the front door of my house and to see what our 14-year-old son, who's really fun and creative, does when I walk in the front door. And here's what's going to happen. When we fly over the Rockies and the plane does one of these things, and my mind goes, oh my God, oh my God. All I do is 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and I think, oh, I'm so excited to walk in that front door and see what happens. And boom! My mind goes, whoa, 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 whoa. She's not nervous about flying. She's excited to get home. You trick your own mind, and I promise you, this will work for you too. Now let me talk to you about how you use 5-second moments and decisions to change any interaction with anybody. It's a philosophy I call being a fan, and it is anchored in what everybody wants. I don't care how old or young, rich or poor, educated or not, the person sitting in your chair or standing next to you working by your side is. We all want the same thing. It's very simple. We just want to know we matter. That's it. This is a superhero day at a hospital. Imagine how differently the window washer shows up on a day like today. Because he or she knows the importance of what they're doing. We all just want to know that we're seen, that we matter. And you can use this fact to your advantage in life. And you use it by showing appreciation. And let me show you somebody, an example who did this better than anybody else in business. So I don't know if you recall, in 2015, Taylor Swift was on tour, and every single concert date, she brought out a surprise guest. And it was like amazing. She just cheered for them. Woo, Ellen, all right. Oh, Serena Williams tonight. Oh, wow, the U.S. women's soccer team. She is showing so much appreciation. She's being their biggest fan. And she didn't even stop at the stadium. She would then go online and cheer on her platform for these folks. I mean, it went on and on and on. You know, funny story about this moment with Kobe. Kobe and I were at an event, and we were standing backstage. And I'm like, Kobe, during my speech, dude. You know, I talk about that moment with Taylor Swift. And he told me the funniest story. So he brought his 14 and 12-year-old daughters to this concert, and they're standing backstage. Picture this. And the 14-year-old looks up at Taylor and goes, so, who's the surprise guest tonight? It's like, it's your dad. And then the girl's like, oh, I know. Who's the big one? He's like, it's your father. She's like, oh, see, the struggle's even real for Kobe, everybody. What is she doing? What is she doing? She is showing appreciation. She's being his fan. She's cheering for him, and she's triggering something I want you to walk out of here and use every day of your life. It's a moral code we don't talk about. The law of reciprocity. I do nice by you, you do nice by me. Have you ever walked up to a mall and somebody gets that first set of doors for you? What do you do on autopilot? You don't even think about it. You're like tripping to get the second set. Have you ever gone home from work and complained about somebody who was nice to you? I don't think so. And we don't use this in business enough. Let me show you what happened in Taylor's business just by cheering for people. First of all, when you cheer for Kobe, what does he do? He goes and cheers for you. That's almost 300,000 likes. Look what happened in her business simply by being a fan of other people in 1 year. She went from 15 million followers to 55. Now, she was the #1 account to follow on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter that year. And by the way, those aren't her fans. Those are Kobe's and Ellen's and the U.S. women's soccer team's fans who became her fans. So you want to know the secret to recruiting people? You make sure the fan of the people that are already working with you. You want to know the secret to retention? Same thing. When people walk through the front door, they feel like they matter. They feel appreciated. You want to know how to build your client base? You make sure that whoever is sitting in that chair, hot towel around their neck, they feel like you are their fan. It's the way that it works, and it takes 5 seconds. You walk into work stressed out, people can feel it. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Anchor yourself in something else. You channel that, and you will be shocked at what happens. And how can you do this with your teammates? So this guy right here in front, Pete, he manages 1,500 banking locations. Everywhere he goes, he's cheering for people. And if you don't like selfies, no problem. Just make sure you're calling out people for the good stuff that they're doing, because it's like getting a high five, and it works. It's absolutely powerful and unbelievable. And the secret's just 5 seconds. 5 seconds, that's all that it is. And I think that we get particularly resigned when we're facing the most important things. That you say to yourself, yeah, I get it. It'll get me out of bed, it'll get me to the gym, but 5 seconds is gonna change the mess that I'm dealing with? I don't think so. Don't make that mistake. For 10 months, I convinced myself that just getting out of bed, how the heck is it gonna make a difference? My problems are so big. How could this possibly? Thank God I used it to get out of bed. Because particularly for the big stuff, particularly for the things that matter to you, it really is about your 5-second decisions, just ask Brittany and Todd. So today's Brittany's wedding day, and what you can't tell from the photo is it's been an awfully stressful couple years for the family, because Todd and Brittany's mom got a divorce. And what are the rules of divorce? Oh, you hate each other, and you fight like cats and dogs, and you hire lawyers, and you spend all your money, and you tear the family apart, and then the dust finally settles when the divorce is final, and then what do? Oh, you remarry, and then you all hate each other again. And so Todd is walking his new wife down the aisle, and that alarm that is talking to you all day long, it is your soul, it is your heart, it is the greatness and the potential of your life. It speaks to him and it says, dude, you gotta do something to heal this family. Now there were a million reasons not to do what he did, but he made a 5-second decision. He sat his new wife down, he turned around, he walked back down the aisle, he grabbed this man. That's a man he hates, that's Brittany's stepdad. Just look at the lady next to them, for crying out loud. And invited him to walk their daughter down the aisle. One decision changes everything. In fact, I think you're just one decision away from a better life. Just ask his family. So whether you use the 5-second rule to 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, get out of your head like Mark did. He'd been thinking about launching a nonprofit for 2 decades. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, he got started. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, he keeps going. Or maybe you're going to use it 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, get out of bed, like Margaret did, get to the gym, even though you don't feel like it. Or maybe you're going to use it to check off a bucket list item, like Carol did. Carol's a critical care nurse, and even though she's really, really shy, that alarm had always been saying, you should present. You should present at the national conference. You should present at the 2020 Huddle. You should get out there more. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, she puts her hat in the ring. Oh my God, she got it. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, I'm excited, now she's doing it.